Alright. Now we are at the end of the game here. I mean, maybe there's like a zone left, maybe more, maybe less. But figured everything else out. Might try to get a level 100 just for shits, but we'll see how spicy that is. Probably remove some shit. Just for a little bit. Yeah, I did not get Dave the Diver in the mail today, so might do another Zelda. Maybe Phantom Hourglass. That was a lot of the Zeldas I've left are multiplayer. It seems pretty hard to get all the people together. I'll have to see about Triforce Heroes. Maybe I'll do Triforce Heroes multiplayer and try to do that on the side. We'll figure it out. Yes, I'll probably do Nitsugami or maybe Phantom Hourglass or something after this. Depending on the time. The breathing is when I'm distracted. I seem to give good XP. Oh, you can climb onto this. It was curved, so I thought you couldn't. That's why I thought there was like another item later and I didn't explore it. That really just doesn't do much, man. I mean, it's a little bit of something. It's probably fine just to have on in the background, but you're getting like maybe one hit out of it, which I mean, alright. The fight? Is easy. Since you could damage him a lot Oh, the weapon. It seemed cool. Like, maybe I'd use it, but just kind of like I've already put too many points and there's not enough to upgrade more weapons, really. I don't know how good the explosion charge is. I mean, it'd be nice to have some quick action and then like a charge for when you have bigger openings, but I don't know. I mean, obviously I didn't get to see its like full combo or anything, but did you use that one a bit or something? It's one of those where it's like, it seems like it was probably good, or at least could have been fun, but I've already got something set up and limited resources kind of make it not worth changing unless you do like the Umbral Knight. The thing with the Umbral Knight is his stuff seems good, but you have to get off a full combo to do his big damage. And you might not have a chance on every boss, and I'm just kind of used to this playstyle. Oh yeah. I've just enjoyed the hammer. I think I would enjoy something else just fine, but you know, I'm used to playing quick, so I don't mind this. For me, it's the upgrading that's annoying. Like I said, it's cool that it's limited in a sense that it's rewarding to find more upgrade materials, but it sucks for testing, especially because you don't see like the full extent of the damage and the combos until it's like fully upgraded. So if anything, it would have been almost nicer to have each weapon have its own like specific upgrades you found. But then you run into the problem where, you know, like the Umbral Knight, where you don't get the full upgrades until like in case you like only if you find certain stuff or. So I don't know. I guess that's not quite the answer. Oh, another one of these. There's more in here, apparently. All the cost too. Yeah, I've made some cool combos though. I mean, I like throwing the guy up in the air and dropping it on people. I'm trying this like poison cloud out because it's like something I can do more on the side, but I feel like it's made for AoE and so it's kind of shit. I don't know, I might go back to this, but maybe the fungal sorcerer is supposed to be better for single target poison. Problem is I can't upgrade anymore. Not really. I don't know if I could get a full upgrade done. I'll just roll with what I got, I guess. Yeah, that's full 100%. If you don't feel like being a full, somewhat 100% gamer, I mean, you really aren't going to be upgrading a whole lot of shit, man. Better stick to something. I've gotten a little bit more into the lore than I expected also. I mean, it's nothing like wild, but I think when they start actually talking about like kingdoms and the specifics of how people end up where they are, it's not too shabby. Nothing wild though, I mean nothing I'm like super all about. It's very typical in terms of lore. Only I feel like when the king stuff and the bastard son and the ancient kingdom and then like the experiments to create certain like elixirs that get used for, you know, military when it wasn't meant to be that way. Like there's a little bit of cool stuff there, but there's some melodrama. I think a lot of the spoken dialogue is kind of whatever. A lot of the early lore, proper noun, vomit, was not really that interesting, but there's a little bit of it. I mean, I don't find it like super great, but there's a little bit I'm kind of playing with. Yeah, it's probably the only than I. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think they could have had more of character stuff between them. I mean, you get a little bit with him when you find his like little secret zone and shit, but other than that, there's not really much with her. I mean, you get to see her and him in the past and all that. Stuff like that. I do think the presentation of the cutscenes is pretty good. Good art there and tunes. But there's not many. Where is this missing piece? I assume this just shits me into. This is the last checkpoint. That's kind of achievement for it. I haven't felt super strong about the music. I'm glad it wasn't just piano shit. But yeah, I'd say the Witch Coven song is the better one. I think there's some decent ones. Is it the Spire, the Castle, that aren't too bad. I like when you're in a save point, they pull back some of the track and then they add more back in when you get to the combat zones and stuff. There's some decent dynamic stuff there, but mostly it's kind of like this kind of dramatic kind of almost generic use of kind of like piano sadness kind of sounds. But I mean, I think as far as that kind of soundtrack goes, it's not just being that way the whole time. They try to mix it up a little here and there while still keeping like a tone. I think the cutscenes do a solid job. I think the Impact Crater area here was not too bad. It's not a banger soundtrack for me, but I was expecting probably worse after the beginning, so. I definitely don't think there's any moments where I'm like, oh man, the music really makes this, you know, like a lot of Metroidvanias, it really elevates it. Yeah, I mean, I like that stuff in theory. It's more like genericness and not being able to own that kind of music with your story and all that. Yeah. I don't know, I'm just okay with the soundtrack. There's some songs I like more than others. There's some where I was like, oh, you know, it stood out a little bit, but nothing I was ever just like, just really cranking it for. Where's this missing item, dude? I'd walk into the next room, but I might just fucking straight me to the boss, man. Wouldn't mind getting 100 for shits, dude. I don't know about the heavy breathing part for me. I mean, it's interesting. But it's almost like, I'm like, it's like distracting. It doesn't sound as much like a part of the song as it is just something on its own. Oh, getting the mid ending. But what if I don't want to refight the boss? I guess I'll get the item. It'd just be kind of nice to get the 100%. Like I've gone this far. Might go get 100 just for fun. I don't know how long it would take. Yeah, for my thing is like I just don't expect the endings to be really all that good to be worth like. He will boy me. To be worth the time, but it's like I mean I guess I could do it. As long as the final boss isn't a pain in the ass. It'll take a little bit of the climax away, I feel like. If I would have known this is all it was, I would have just farmed this last night. Okay. Yeah, I was like, if it's gonna be like really tough, which is cool, I'm not really too interested in redoing it. Or if it's gonna take a long time. Tries, right? I got other stuff to play. I'm cool like doing stuff like this, but replaying shit, man. Did you know there was a second one of these already out? Like in early access? I think I'd heard about it, but I didn't relearn about it till yesterday. Yeah. I've enjoyed this. I mean, I don't think it's like like kind of reworking the Metroidvania blowing my mind or anything, but it's been just like a nice solid Metroidvania. You know, decently paced zones, maybe a few too many kind of gauntlet labyrinths and stuff, but like decently paced bosses that try to actually be a little different between each other. I mean, I guess Clawman doesn't stand out as much, but so that's been kind of nice. Although, like with a lot of these kind of games, you can kind of just shit on a boss. Like relatively tuned difficulty, not too hard, but not like just piss easy. Alright lore, you know. I feel like the pacing of upgrades has been pretty good. It's not wild, like great, but like, you know, every major boss I'm getting like a full new ability for move tech. The move tech is not reinventing the wheel in any way, shape or form. Like a hook that doesn't really have much momentum, doesn't feel super great to use, but hey, it's there, you know, you're getting a dash, you're getting a sprint, you know, just clean stuff. Nothing wild, but nothing wrong with it. I think that's my thoughts on the whole game. It's just like nothing wild, but nothing bad. Just clean, nice little kind of action, semi-soulsy Metroidvania. Yeah, we'll have to chit chat about once I get to the end here. That was another reason I stopped yesterday. I was also just fucking exhausted. I don't know what the hell happened. I think it's just the sleep schedule changes. I was thinking about doing Phantom Hourglass after this because I didn't get Dave the Diver in, but honestly, I feel like this stream schedule's not good for Zelda discussion. I think everybody who cares is generally asleep in a couple hours. But, I don't know. I gotta get them done. The multiplayer ones are looking to be tough to schedule. So I might try to find Triforce Heroes folks on the side. Andrew said he'd be willing to replay it. Visually boring. I don't find them like, whoa. I mean, I think the art's clean. I don't think the art's bad, but I don't know. There's also, I was thinking about this while I was playing. I was like, is there just a point where just the style of a Metroidvania, like layered backgrounds that are like super intricate with like the typical foregrounds and stuff, it's like, is there just something about that like I just inherently just don't feel a whole lot about? There's games like Animal Well that I really get into the atmosphere, but it's like, you know, on all cylinders, kind of just, you know, from the music sounds to the feel of shit. It's like I tend to not really be like looking at the backgrounds and like thinking a whole lot of them in a lot of these types of games. Maybe because it is like backgrounds, I don't know. I don't know if anybody feels what I'm trying to say about that, right? Like there's a lot of games with like very intricate backgrounds, like with huge scale and like depth, but like you don't really feel like you're in it, right? Like I care. I think I always, you know, remark if it's impressive or if it's, you know, not or something. But I feel like inherently the 2D, like with Metroidvania, maybe just I'm just overly used to like Metroidvania art styles and shit. Well, see, I do care. It's a weird. That's why I didn't talk about it before because I don't know exactly what I feel. I complained about with Tebi. Like with Tevi, I found. I mean, I feel like the mechanical stuff, yeah, I probably care about the most in these. But I mean, like I said, stuff like Animal, I really got behind the atmosphere. And I've always been an atmosphere music dude, like in a big part. But like with Tevi, it's like very boring very boring foregrounds with pretty generic backgrounds, and it adds like no style or like any extra feel to anything. But when I get one with like relatively decent backgrounds here, and maybe you could say they're like generically dark, edgy or something, like Ruined Kingdoms and stuff. Like I don't feel super crazy about it. Maybe it's a quality thing. Like it's like when I'm playing like a first-person game and I'm like running around like a world, like I probably am gonna feel like more immersed than I'm playing like a side-scrolling game. But I mean, not really. It kind of depends. I don't know. Maybe music plays a bigger part. I mean, I find I probably get more into music than I do visuals, just in general. I've always been a big like music advocate in games kind of guy. But it doesn't mean I don't care about visuals. It's a tough one to talk about. I know exactly how I feel there. Yeah, I don't remember much of Ravi Ribby's backgrounds and stuff. I think I appreciated the variety, and that was probably the majority of it. The music was nice. Maybe not like really trying to go for a particular style, but it was just kind of like It was just trying to go for kind of chipper variety, and I was down with it. It was a waifu, like, high energy, kind of a gamey game, right? There's just like all sorts of different zones. Like, here's a fire zone, here's this zone, here's that zone. It's not really trying to make it fit in like a world. And I think that style kind of fits like a more gameplay oriented game anyway, so I don't think anybody's probably popping off about Rabby Ribby's visuals outside the sec part, but I don't find it a problem. I find it just sufficient. And the music helps carry kind of like presentation stuff. Outside, like I said, the section. Godo, are you gonna bully me if I don't kill the boss twice? I barely remember the story in Rabby Ribby. I mean, it's a cute girls doing cute bullshit thing. See, that's the thing, like, La Mulana has, like, great, like, visuals and atmosphere and backgrounds, but it has meaning in them, too. Right? You're, like, exploring a room. I mean, is it gamey? I think it's just got a good setup for the story that it can stay gamey, right? You are an explorer in ruins, right? I mean, it is about the gaminess, but it's got a premise that I feel like doesn't have to do much with story. Like, you don't have to do a whole lot to just be like an Indiana Jones character, right? Like, you are just exploring a ruin, and it just kind of fits in the plot. It's just like whatever at that point. It's all about the anthropological kind of elements, the history, and I mean, it's got like comedy and stuff. But I think also there's a relationship between the gameplay and the areas. I think that's what I mean. So in this, the backgrounds are set dressing. They're atmosphere. They don't really do anything gameplay wise, which is fine. That's what they're there. They're art assets. But in something like La Mulana, they have like meaning, right? Even in something kind of like Animal Well, or there's like sometimes meaning. So maybe you get like a greater relation with that stuff. I mean, you could also just say it's probably more smartly put together because it's like literally talking about like different races, and you're learning about the culture and history by like looking into the background and like analyzing it a lot. In this, it's like I'll just, you know, I like the background's there, but I'm not like looking at like every element. So yeah, it's a concept thing. It's like a good action movie, right? Like, it doesn't need sometimes anything other than like just a high concept or just a good premise, and you can just make it work from there. Good, I didn't say if he's bullying me. I'm just gonna assume he is. I'll probably do both. I'll probably kill it twice. I've 100%ed everything else. So I'll just do the whole thing. You know, it's tough to explain kind of what I mean with this. Like I said, I think the art itself, you know, the animations are a little tween, kind of not flashed here like Aquaria, but like, yeah, a little stiff sometimes. I think sometimes they're pretty good, you don't really even notice, but sometimes they're like, you know, clearly kind of like budgetly animated. It has like this slow-mo molasses kind of vibe when people move. But I feel like overall, I feel like the art's good. It's crisp. It's like cohesive But maybe it's like, you know, you've seen like a bunch of ruined Dark Kingdoms before. You've seen like Fallen Kingdoms and zombie type of stuff. And, you know, I've seen like, you know, little flying guys like this. I feel like, you know, plenty of games with that shoot little things at you. I don't know. So maybe part of it's like genericness, like it's quality, but like maybe part of it's, you know, the enemies aren't super interesting. I think the enemy variety in this in general is alright. I think, I mean, they reuse a lot of kinds of enemies, but they're effective, I guess, like archers and stuff, but you can say, well, Souls reuses like soldiers and shit, so it's like, I mean, technically, yeah, but oh yeah, I don't feel like a spookiness. It does feel distinct, like the background, and that you're going towards the center of like the blight and your journey and all that, but I'm not like, you know. Feeling like a foreboding deal. I mean, you feel a little bit of it. I don't think it's like completely ineffective. I mean, this area is also one room, so I mean, I really can't blame him on that. Yeah, Bug Fables was good about mixing aesthetics with storytelling. Since you were like in a human world and stuff, it was kind of cute to try to piece some of it together. And how they used like, you know, like the fridge and all that kind of shit as like levels and stuff was cool. Have they announced the Bug Fables too? Officially? I don't even know who the devs are. What the hell is going on there? I don't know if I get XP from guys who fall beneath the level. I think I do. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, this room is like this area is like one room, but you spend a lot of time here because you're like right on the edge, right? And I've been wearing XP shit for most of it, but the thing is though, is I don't think the XP charms actually do a whole lot before this point. Because I do think this game has like, not maybe distinct jumps in XP, but they definitely exist a little bit, right? Like, if you go back to the beginning of the game, you'll fight for, like, you're gonna be there for 20 hours killing guys to get one level, right? Like, so it's like, getting XP at the bottom end is almost pointless because this area gives so much more XP. Like there's clearly like a big jump. So it makes the XP trinkets useless until you're here, which is where, you know, the XP is going to be maxed out, right? Because when you kill these guys, it's a pretty good chunk, but in the area right before this, it's almost nothing, right? And I think since the levels start taking more and more, it's not like a smooth like level thing where it's just like 1,000 each level, right? And maybe they start just giving a little more so you can get to the levels quicker. I think it's more of like a classic kind of RPG thing. Yeah, it was just close. I figured why not. While we're shooting the ship. I'm gonna fight this boss twice. It'll take me like 20 minutes. It's gotta be like SMT, man. Where you're like pretty much right at max at the end of every playthrough. And maybe there's like a little bit extra stats you can push, but... Yeah, it's either like a lot of JRPGs are like... or a lot of RPGs in general are either like... I feel like Western ones, like your games that use RPG elements, you'll be at max for like a third of the game. Whereas like Japanese ones, you're either like 40 levels off of max by the end, or at max. It's pretty rare I see something where you're just like kind of close to max like this, and then you just kind of round it out. Because I'm like, I'm like 91, like I'm just gonna, you know. Like, let's just get the last of the levels, why not, right? Especially in a Metroidvania where it's like I'm like 100%ing shit, like why not just crank the levels? Right, which is very possible. Maybe some devs just leave it there just for people to have a little bit of an edge if they want, but I think the completionism nature of Metroidvania and Metroidvania fans probably is going to lend more people to want to probably grind out these last few levels if they're going for 100%. It's 22% of Steam users get level 100, and 27% got all the charm bracelets and shit, so it's like, that's pretty much like 80% of people 100%ing this game are going to pretty much grind it at 100. I think you're just like that close, where it's like you just might as well, right? Kind of vibe. This game also has like technically some challenge, right? I think it's a fair, good feeling challenge. I wouldn't call it a hard game, like in the sense where like that's the focus, right? It's not a complete joke, right? You're not gonna one-shot every boss. My thing is, if you're 100%ing, I feel like you should just kind of be at max by the end of it. Like, if you're not 100%ing this game, yeah, you'll probably get here. Yeah, I don't know, you may get here at a similar level, I don't know. Because the level speed. You don't get XP if they fall beneath the level. I guess technically they never died. Kind of shit. I mean, do I need this? I might. There's not many other one costs. Water. Bullshit. No, I'll just leave it on. I mean, I'm in a blight area. Alright, so we're gonna go for the mid ending, which I guess you don't use the curium. And then we gotta refight. Yeah, but like I said, I think the art's crisp. With some caveats here and there. It's kind of like the whole game, right? Like, it doesn't do anything like super bad. It's not always running on all cylinders. But if you're a Metroidvania fan, I don't know why you wouldn't enjoy this. It's just a nice, clean one. I think there's a lot of potential in a good sequel. We'll talk about it, I guess. My other object was completely useless. Fucking assholes are doing more than she is. Yeah, the swing catches the odds pretty well. And then you could just spam other shit too. Stun's good for the openings. Yeah. Alright. I have to watch the credits. Pretty much exactly the ending you expected. achieve purify, but she lose self. Probably the shittiest boss in the game, too. It's one of those where you start just wrecking too hard, you don't need to even think about the boss at all. Yeah, I mean, the attacks come very rarely. It tends to be very ad focused. And even the attacks that do come are pretty easy to dodge. I think it's just one of those, like, a typical Metroidvania thing. Some people just suck at making big bosses, I guess. Most of the good bosses in this are like, you know, twice human size, jumping around kind of duels. The background artists, the Canadian company they outsourced to. It's interesting. This game doesn't feel like it was like a first indie, like it's got like a little too much budget, I feel like. Maybe somebody just had some money. Who actually made this? This game apparently did pretty well, man. Where to find the devs? Because it's AdGlove and Livewire. And Livewire is the publisher. I think AdGlove's the main one. They did Redemption Reapers. What is this? Ooh yeah, ooh yeah. Yeah. Okay, I guess I could have skipped those credits. The visage. The bladed white priest. There's more here? Another item when you fucking finished it? Christ, man. I didn't need this. Promise I don't have anything else to get rid of here. Oh, it just changes her look, the painting. I feel like you just get something after you kill the final boss and come back in. Because the room to the right has something too. assume nothing changed in that cutscene. What has changed? Beautify. I'm already consumed. I'm already a demon. Another fizz. Can't even use my parry on this boss. Hello? Oh, are we cleaning her off? Yeah, not best gameplay wise, but final boss. He doesn't even really try to fight back, let alone whatever build you're gonna cook him. Dimension phase 2 is pretty much just phase 1 with limited attack and less attacking in general. Didn't they say this was supposed to ease the pain? Sounds like a Tylenol to me or something. Maybe it's supposed to actually slow the blight. It didn't sound like too useful of a thing. I don't know, maybe your sanity is kind of the whole deal. don't know what it was for. I don't know what the fuck though. I don't really get the origins of the blight and the why. Just the stuff after. Missed the memo there. Yeah, she's not that powerful. She slapped together a super Tylenol. You know, for something called the rain being like part of the spread or something, there wasn't really a whole lot of rain. Yeah, where the hell's Nightbrow in that ending, man? He was like the narrator. Didn't he have something with her going on too? I don't even know. Wait. So the rain stopped. Is she just down there now taking her place, but like she's more lucid instead because of the amulet? Yeah, not the best minute to minute story. Some of the lore I got into. Here's how some of the stories were. I enjoyed whoever did the actual cutaway cutscenes. Those were pretty nice looking aesthetic. That with the music during those parts kind of actually gave more of an atmosphere, I feel like, than the actual story did. But yeah, the actual moments there and a lot of his dialogue are kind of weak. They come across as, I don't know, either lost in translation or just kind of stiff or amateur or something. The cutscene artist, Ayumi Yamada. That was the most impressive stuff visually, I think. Ayumi popping off. Everyone's dead. Well, I mean, what are you gonna do on that, right? I mean, the idea is probably to make it not extra worse. Yeah, they're in Shibuya. And then they outsourced to Canada for the art, some of it. From what I'm gathering. Through their publisher and shit. Yeah, it's a Tokyo-based dev. Was what I just looked up 20 minutes ago. I don't know what they did before this, some shovelware, I guess, but maybe not. It's called Redemption Reapers. Anybody heard of Redemption Reapers? Limbus music. This is like a tactics game. They went from that to this. Probably a pretty good upgrade, huh? Yeah. Yeah, pretty sizable jump. I don't know what issues you have with this. Like, that game looks like slop, dude. I'm sure it was. Maybe it's better than it looked like it. Is there no like goodbye scene with the ghosts that were with us the entire game? Like moving beyond? It's just this chick that I barely know anything about. Yeah, you fucking bitch. Where's my spirit, bros? I want fucking Night Bro and fucking Hammerman standing behind her as they drift off into the afterlife, man. You were my clone. Wait. I don't give a fuck. Where's my bro, the fucking twisted abomination elder? Come to fucking belly slops. belly flops some fucking assholes. Anyways, yeah, I would say overall I enjoyed this one. Oh wait, we got a little more. Look, man, there's probably some people out there somewhere. You become unblighted in all relic. Blightborn modes. Challenge mode. Malign memory. Back to back now. Boss rush. Don't care, brother. What if I put both of these on at this? Okay, they overran. Lily, forma de Lily. I mean, she got twisted, but yeah, they didn't turn her into like a freak or nothing. I mean, the other chick was still like a spirit thing anyways. Lightborn modes, let's go. What the? Instant death. Disable prayer. Contact damage multiplier. Oh, you can turn this off 10 times. This is cool. This is all here. I mean, I will not partake, but yeah. So, what'd you guys think of the game? What was your thoughts? Let me check the achievements here. Overall, yeah, I'd say I liked it. I think it was just a solid, clean Metroidvania. I don't think it was like reinventing the wheel. I don't think, despite well-paced movement tech and abilities, I don't think any of them in particular, especially the movement tech, is like anything super fancy. But the amount of items you can go back and get, and how often you're getting these new movement tech options, I think are fine for what it is. I think all the different abilities, most of the spirits kind of suck and end up just kind of being like, which one do you want to mash out the hardest, more than really changing your gameplay too much. But the main weapons are a little spicier. So I think that makes it fun. I think there's enough combat thought going on that despite not having a whole lot of movement stuff, or really being the best of its class on movement stuff, that it stays spicy. It still stays fun because of the combat. There's definitely more room for interesting stuff. There's some things like the parries and stuff that end up kind of falling to the wayside. A lot of it depends on boss design and enemy design. Sometimes there's maybe not enough enemies, but it's mostly fine. But the last few bosses kind of suck. There's not much to learn, and they tend to be just kind of damage magnets, so... Solidly up there, Metroidvanias. Game okay. Or not make me salty for unrealized potential. Yeah, I definitely think there's a lot of potential for more stuff there. The swapping to different like abilities, having the abilities maybe be a bit more flexible in play style. Stuff like the relic system, I feel like especially is kind of shit in this. There's not many, and most of them are just kind of stat increases of completely negligible amounts. And then you get stuff like extra heals, which it's like, why would you not pick those? Some of them cost way too much. Like the movement thing costs 2, and I think we get like a 0.04 over 4 seconds sprint difference. Completely useless, right? Not worth 2. I would just say that would be a nice upgrade. Being able to jump higher, stuff like that, I think those should just be like upgrades. I think you can make the spirits probably have more to do with platforming if you want. Not necessary. I think keeping it kind of like, you know, that contact damage, spacing, thought, and all that matters a bit more at the beginning. I think they could lean into that, or they could lean more into like kind of a flow combat thing. I mean, you don't want it to be like a Tevi though, right? Where it's like it goes so much into like this constant flow spam where there's just no thought in the combat at all anymore, so. Yeah, in terms of story and atmosphere and stuff, like I said, the soundtrack's fine. The art's crispy, with the animation sometimes being a little cheap looking. I like the cutscenes, but the lore ranges from just like proper noun vomit to decent. I got into some of the lore near the end when I was learning a bit more about some of the people and some of the mysteries of what's going on, but I don't find it to be terribly gripping, right? I'm not like, man, what, this is really interesting. I want to know what's going on. I want to learn about it. You know, there's like surprises and twists and turns and like the lore and stuff. It's mostly pretty by the numbers when it comes to Ruined Kingdom bullshit. Instead of just war, it's like a plague, right? Which isn't all that different. There's like, I guess, striking imagery with like little girl getting corrupted and like people sacrificing and the loved ones and all that kind of crap. But other than that, I feel like the minute-to-minute story is pretty weak. Whenever the night guy's talking, it's okay. It's sometimes melodramatic or sometimes just kind of stiff, but they really don't cinch it very well in these last few endings. You just kind of go in there, you don't even see the guys that were with you the whole time. I think leaning into it being about her purifying these people on a road to self-sacrifice, but also to save the world, and kind of like having them have a little bit, I mean, they don't have to have a lot of character moments, but like you get like a little bit of their character. And I think that was the idea, because you have cutscenes about the hammer guy and all that. You know, these spirits who like are kind of attached to her and then, you know, saying their piece and then having to kind of move on and shit. Maybe it doesn't, I mean, you don't have to have that in a lot of words, I guess, but, you know, just little scenes here and there. It's mostly just about the night guy, and they don't even capitalize on that by the end of it, so. It's mostly about kind of lore stuff and getting to the core of everything. I don't even fully know if she was having a moment of self-sacrifice at the end there, I guess. I mean, she just felt better about it because she had the trinket. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, you could have had a much more solid send-off if you just at least had the night guy kind of having a moment and peacing out. Yeah, he could be like, my duty's done, and then he goes off with her, right? I don't even know if in his special cutscene he was talking to her. He might have been. But, you know, you could have had like a moment where all the spirits come out when she's at like the last fucking rest stop or something, or, you know, or like a little thing at the end where the spirits peace out or something. I mean, it wouldn't be like awesome, but like you could have a little something, right? Because I mean, the whole idea is like she's purifying all these people through self-sacrifice, and their spirits are like helping her kind of finish out the journey. And I mean, they don't need to have like a bunch of fucking skits where they're talking to her and going to the beach or something, but like, you know, just have a little bit and then a send-off. But you can feel what kind of atmosphere they're going for, and while I don't find it like super duper gripping, it was fine enough. Some areas do better than others, like the Coven that has better music. Impact Crater had some interesting stuff. one of the castles. There's a bit of dynamic music. You don't even probably notice it if you're not paying attention, but with rest points and shit, so which does a bit for sure. I like the usage of like fall damage and stuff like that, but I find really the thought and this usage of environment and the stages doesn't really change throughout the game. If anything, you use it less. You think as you get more movement tech, you'd probably be like kind of playing around with knocking dudes around and enemies that are a bit more complicated or just, you know, more varied in more areas and stuff. And you kind of use these new things and new spirits to kind of make it work, but it's mostly what you get at the beginning is what you get at the end, just different amounts of power. Like I said, I think the sub-spirits, the sub-weapon spirits, I think most of them are pretty mediocre. Like I said, they're mostly just damage buttons, which isn't the worst thing. Some like the axe one are fun, where you can actually kind of like warp and take care of guys on the run and stuff. And I tried using the ones like where you like have the guy fall down on dudes just because it seemed fun, but so many enemies fly in this. Most guys have projectiles, and there's almost always a flying enemy or two in every fight. Not the most annoying I've ever seen it, for sure, but it makes a lot of stuff not as useful, which, I mean, is good. You don't want all of your tools to be useful, because then you gotta, like, every fight would feel the same, but the problem is there are ones that are, like, universally good, like the axe chick. A 1 second cooldown to do 400 damage, and I'm doing, like, 700 with each swing on the big guy. Oh, did they make this first? Oh, no shit. Uh-oh. I didn't see that. I just assumed, man. Oh, yeah. The slot game came out in 2023. Maybe that didn't do very well, and then they're like, oh shit, we need to make another Ender Lilies. Oh, fuck. Pull the fucking plug. I mean, it's clearly a very different type of game. It's like full 3D tactics. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I respect trying to mix it up and do your own thing. They had a different publisher for that, too. Maybe the publisher was a big help. Binary Haze Interactive. No, wait, is this the same publisher? It is, yeah. Never mind. I don't know. I mean, this one's Livewire and AdGlobe. Redemption Reapers was just AdGlobe, maybe, but maybe the artist people, maybe they had more influence than we knew. I don't know. Odd. Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's a clean Metroidvania. If you like Metroidvanias, there's no reason not to play it. Like I said, I mean, staples of Metroidvania, like good pace, decent use of like backtracking, you know, meaningful upgrades. It's all here. Like I said, it's not going to be breaking the wheel for you. It's not going to be reinventing the wheel. It's, you know, all the movement stuff is very, very tried and true. The combat, while clean and satisfying, you know, is not super wild. You know, the platforming challenges are just the challenges in general. The level design and the enemies aren't, there's not really a whole lot of craziness going on, but they're all clean, right? I would say there's a few levels that are probably a little too long. I think the map sucks. It's good that they tell you which zones you haven't finished. It keeps you engaged in trying to get them all done, but I would have preferred just a more accurate map where I could annotate it myself. There's a lot of wasted time in the early game going back over areas that you don't really need to, because you forgot shit. I think in every Metroidvania, because you could just write a map down yourself, should just let you have that be a part of the game, have that be a consideration. You can, you know, some part of the agency where I can annotate it myself and get into wanting to like grab everything and stuff. If you want it to be automated, that's fine too. I mean, I'd prefer to have to label it, but that's not a big problem. Having it so that it tells you if you miss something is a good way to keep the pace going, at least. Harvest style, didn't that end up shit? Oh yeah, I was gonna check the achievement. Oh yeah, here's the, let's check the Godo Metroidvania list. I don't know where I'd rate this on mine. If I'll do one eventually, but why not? Let's keep combo going. Where did he put it? Zoink. 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 FGO. I mean, who probably hasn't touched FGO, right, bros? Maybe they worked on the animations or something. The animations for the characters in this are kind of similar. Oh, development. So they like made it? I don't know. So many devs work on so many different fucking games here. Alright, where are we at? Unitopia, of course. I've seen this list, right? I generally agree on it. Not 100%, but they're all respectable takes. Ender Lilies up here. I would definitely say Ender Lilies is probably a tier below those for me. I'd probably put it in this zone if we're going off of Godo's picks here. Better than Tevi. Worse than Hollow Knight, probably. But I respect this pick for sure. And you know me, I like Animal Well and La Bolana and shit. So. I would definitely say I like this better than Momo 5. Momo 5 was also another kind of just like clean, solid one. But I found that one, it's kind of like what Fasto said with like unrealized potential. It's kind of a sort of ZTD situation, not as extreme, but in the same vein, where it's like you go from Momo 4 to Momo 5, and it feels like kind of a downgrade. And while it's like a clean Metroidvania, it feels like, you know, you could get a lot of clean Metroidvanias out there, so something a bit more distinct or something that at least capitalized on what they did well with 4 would have been nice. So I find that one to be a lot more disappointing than this game, maybe just because of those expectations, but it was still good too. Yeah, but no, overall, yeah, I liked this one. I thought it was good. I thought it was clean, like I said. There's not really any one particular thing I could point to where I'm like, this is the X factor, this is the hook, right? And I don't think the execution is also like just all cylinders firing, but I think it's all solid enough with very few like major faults that I'd call it anything other than just clean, solid Metroidvania. So. I think there's potential in another one. And clearly they think so too. But next time we get the Shota main character instead, that'll be interesting. Let me look at this game. Ender Magnolia. He looks exactly like I would have expected. Art. He's got like cards for heals now. The same 3. I'm worried it's gonna be like exactly the same shit. Hopefully they do find ways to improve. I mean, people seem to really like Magnolia from the early access, so maybe they're just better at this, or they have like particular people who worked on the Magnolia or the Enders games. The art looks pretty crisp too. I mean, it looks similar, but it looks like there's more like technology in this. I'm seeing more like rust and metal and stuff. That'll be interesting. Instead of like I'd almost say like a Bloodborne-esque thing going on. If only the suits, nude. I don't know. Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting to check the achievements. Getting caught up in the other stuff. Oh, I got them all. Cool. Anywho. Quests. I didn't even really. I guess it's achievements. Yeah, good game. I liked it. Like I said, any of those like kind of complaints, well, I feel like there's plenty. It's more like a potential, a kind of like tarnished kind of vibe more than it is like it's just really got big problems.